I've had 3 of the Red Baron old red lines sitting around here for a little while. These things are almost as old as I am. and I've wanted to work on them, but I couldn't bring myself to do it for some reason. I don't know if basically it was because I haven't worked with Spectraflame paint or if I just couldn't find the inspiration to do it. Then recently, Outlaw Speed Shop did a bone shaker in a color that I fell in love with, and I knew I had to do one of these in that color. So I had these 3, had to decide which one I was going to customize out of the group. The gold one I really like. I didn't want to touch it even though it looks to be the most beat to hell, so I chose this one to do the work to and proceeded to take it apart. As you can see, the engine is one of the posts and the helmet is the other post. These posts are extremely small. The one on the engine is extremely bent. and drawing them was fun, but got it done. Polished up the body a little bit there. Went with the Lime Ice Extreme Lacquer from Testers and the Gloss Black from Krylon for the helmet. I love that color. That green is just amazing. When I saw that on that bone shaker, I just knew I had to do a Red Baron in that color. That was the first paint job there. That ended up going back to the stripper because it did not clear coat well. So while that was in the stripper, I decided to work on the wheels. These are the kind that use the caps on the ends, so I got some replacement caps from the Redline shop. It's easy enough to pop them off. You just use your knife. Just let the weight of the knife basically do it. You have to put a little bit of pressure, but not much. I shortened this down quite a bit. I cut some of it out where it just wasn't pretty because I had a few problems. Hadn't done these for a little while, so anyhow, they do pop pretty easily off of there. And the new caps look so much better. It's a simple, inexpensive improvement. A lot easier than me trying to paint those centers chrome, even with the Molotov pen. And those are the deep dish ones. You can choose between regular deep dish. Added a little detail using the Sharpie pens that I've used before, the Sharpie paint pens, using gold for the radiator and bronze for the tank on the back, Molotov red for the brake light in the center. And did, use pins, the black pin for a little detail on the tank, the white pin for the headlights. There's not a lot to this. And yet, it as you're going to see, I kind of bumble and stumble and fumble my way through getting this back together because the parts, you don't realize just how small they are until you start doing this. And the self-tapping screws that I ended up using, because the posts are so extremely small, I always worry about trying to tap them. Using the self-tapping screws works best for me. I was thinking I was just going to use the screw itself, and then I decided, I wanted a washer on each of the little tiny screws just to give it that little added reinforcement in holding this together. So there's the washers. These little containers work out great for holding stuff like the washers and the screws. And Paul over at Fat Guy Productions had them in one of his videos. And when I saw that, I thought, oh, that's what I need to get, because I had these things rolling around in drawers and bags and you name it. And these little tiny cases, it was dirt cheap for a bunch of them on Amazon. And so now I'm actually organized with the screws and the washers and stuff. If you think one screw's tiny, just wait until you drop about 20 of those little tiny screws and you're trying to find them. So here I'm putting it together. And, with the helmet being one of the posts and the engine being the other post, I truly did fumble and stumble my way through this, getting it together. It's surprisingly awkward. And I'm sure I make it look more awkward than it actually is for a lot of people. But I get it together. I mean, eventually. Part of it's trying to figure out how to hold the darn thing to get it so you can handle it. And surprisingly, I didn't drop the screw off the end. That's one of the nice things about using the screws like these. They'll stay on the screwdriver. Or if you're using slotted screws or Phillips head screws, they aren't going to stay on there the same way. So that really helps me when I'm doing these. So now it's just a matter of popping that engine on there, putting the screw in it. That's the other post. I don't know if you can quite see it there, but that post is pretty bent. And from what I've seen in other videos, I think that's a pretty common thing. But it works. It all goes together. When you see it, it first surprises you, but then when you're actually working on it, the only thing you have to be careful on is drilling it. Otherwise, you're fine. So I finally got it all put together. And it's a cute little booger. I got to give it that. And so here's the end result. I love that color. Something about the black helmet against that green. I just knew I had to go this route. So there you have what I'm calling the green Mamba. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have some of these laying around, bust them apart. Paint them a color. Doesn't have to be a regular restoration. Doesn't have to be Spectraflame paint. Doesn't have to be airbrushed on. This is rattle can paint. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. If you're already subscribing, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate your subscriptions. Your comments below would be really appreciated. I try and answer every one of them. And if you can, share this with your friends. And get them on board too. Who knows, maybe we'll have even more customizers soon out there. Thank you for watching. And have fun doing these things too. Talk to you later.